Politics is often called the art of problem solving, and every country has its own playbook. You can throw money at the problem, you can try diplomacy, or if you're the United States, you can throw weapons at the problem. That's what Joe Biden is doing in Ukraine. He's flooding the country with all kinds of weapons. Guess how much are they worth? More than $9 billion. This includes rockets, anti-tank missiles, radars, guns and ammunition. And on Tuesday, Biden announced more of it. His new package includes a controversial weapon, the HIMARS Multiple Rocket Launch System. It's a mobile rocket unit, and it can fire multiple rounds at the same time. Now, why is this weapon controversial? Because of its range. The HIMARS can hit targets 80 kilometers away. That is much more than anything Ukraine currently uses. Right now, their most potent rocket is this one, the M777 howitzer. It tops at around 25 kilometers. But the HIMARS can travel more than twice that distance, 80 kilometers, which means it can target or hit targets behind Russian lines. You could call it a game changer, like the Stinger missiles in Afghanistan or the F-14 Tomcat in Iraq. These rockets could change the tide in the Donbass, and I'll tell you how. Right now, Ukrainian forces are finding it hard to break out. They're under heavy Russian shelling, and their rockets do not have the range to strike Russian targets. In simple words, the Ukrainians are bogged down. Enter HIMARS. Not only can it hit enemy targets, it can do so away from Russia's range. So it's good news for Ukraine, not so much for Russia. The Kremlin had warned against sending advanced missile systems to Ukraine. They called it senseless and risky dumping of weapons. And it's not just words. Russia is flexing its muscles too. Around 1,000 Russian soldiers are holding a nuclear drill near Moscow. They're practicing with 100 vehicles, including the Yars intercontinental ballistic missile launchers. Clearly, Russia was serious about the warnings. So why did Biden go ahead with the rocket shipment in the first place? He clarified his position in an op-ed for the New York Times. Here's what the US president wrote, and I'm quoting. "We have moved quickly to send Ukraine a significant amount of weaponry and ammunition so that it can fight on the battlefield and be in the strongest possible position at the negotiating table. That's why I've decided that we will provide the Ukrainians with more advanced rocket systems." Interesting logic. Biden wants diplomacy to succeed. He wants to end the Ukraine war through talks. So what does he do? Send more lethal rockets to Ukraine. Sounds a bit counterproductive, doesn't it? Well, not in America. Remember when they dropped nuclear bombs to make Japan surrender quickly? Same logic here, except advanced rockets are not nuclear bombs. They may give Ukraine a temporary edge, but Russia has enough weapons to level that advantage, which makes you wonder, what exactly is Biden's end game here? His defense officials were talking about weakening Russia. He was accused of extending the war to give Putin a bloody nose. So on Tuesday, Biden hit back. In the same op-ed, he clarified his position on the war. Listen to what he said. "We are not encouraging or enabling Ukraine to strike beyond its borders. We do not want to prolong the war just to inflict pain on Russia." This is what the US president has written. And there's another interesting bit. "As much as I disagree with Mr. Putin and find his actions an outrage, the United States will not try to bring about his ouster in Moscow." So two clarifications by Biden. A, he does not want to extend the war, and B, he's not seeking to remove Putin from power. These are important clarifications, but the question is, will Putin buy it? Chances are he won't, which is why these rockets are a risky roll of the dice. Biden is hoping the battleground edge will force Russia to sue for peace, or at least begin talks. But knowing Putin, he will see this as an escalation, because this is not just the US. Other Western countries are also sending more weapons. Germany is the latest. They've announced air defense systems for Ukraine, and it's very good progress from the helmets. According to Chancellor Olaf Scholz, this is just the start. He wants a complete overhaul of German defense. His ultimate goal, to make Germany the most powerful European army in NATO.
What we have achieved is a quantum leap, and it has consequences. The German army will become the biggest conventional European army in NATO, and we will work to continue improving our security architecture, for example, also when it comes to cybersecurity.
So you have big announcements from all over the West. Germany is militarizing, America is sending advanced rocket systems, but none of this was a surprise. In fact, Ukraine had been asking for those weapons since March. Until now, Biden was opposed to it. He thought the rockets would be an escalation. And for once, he was right. The rockets are an escalation. Yes, they will give Ukraine a temporary edge, but at what cost? What if Russia responds with more firepower? Like I said at the start, politics is all about problem solving. But Biden is trying to find a political solution with weapons. It's a risky move, but then again, Biden has nothing to lose. Escalation or not, his country remains safe. Only Ukraine faces the bullets. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.